So mga kabanat, may ipakita ko sa inyong video, no. Ito'y interview ni Ombudsman Martires ata, hindi ako magkakamali ito mga kabanat, kay Pinky Wave sa CNN Philippines mga kabanat. Patungkol ito sa issue ng Parmali at isyung pagbili ng PPE. Talagang gusto pa imbestigahan ng Ombudsman na ito. Bakit late na niya bumili itong PSDBM ng mga PPE? At kasama na dito investigasyon patungkol sa overpricing at inaantay pa nila daw yung report ng Blue Ribbon Committee at kasama na rin yung investigasyon niya nung 86 million na sinasabi ni President Duterte. So panoorin niyo ito mga kabanat. Comment kayo sa baba at kayo nang humusga dito sa sinasabi ng Ombudsman. Bago magkakamali, Martires ang apelyido nito. So panoorin nyo.
All right. Ombudsman, we are running out of time, no? Pasensya na po, but I need to ask you other questions. Way back, I think a year ago, I was able to speak to you, and you launched this investigation, a preliminary, possibly investigation on what was allegedly overpriced, I believe PPEs and even test kits. You were quite passionate about that, if my memory serves me right. First question is, how is that investigation? And number two, have you launched an investigation into the Senate inquiry on the DBMPS that eventually went to formally officials?
Okay. The investigation that I ordered to be conducted sometime in June of 2020 pertained to the delayed purchase of PPEs, the what else? The delayed payment to fallen health workers. But when the COA report came out, on August 12, I talked to the investigators and issued a memorandum expanding the investigation to include the alleged overpricing and other matters contained in the COA report. Now, we are waiting for the Senate report. We're waiting for the documents that we asked from other agencies to be submitted to us. We are waiting for the COA audit report, which they will be conducting a special audit according to the chairman. All these things. We are continuing with our investigation. Now, on the investigation last year, we are now almost finished with the investigation on the delayed payment of benefits to fallen health workers. Why was I so passionate last year about these things? Because I was so affected, and I thought, and I was thinking that had the PPEs been purchased prior to the declaration or to the lockdown, siguro we could have avoided death of medical practitioners or health workers. Kung bumili lang tayo nung Disyembre pa, kasi mayroon ng COVID nung Disyembre, Enero. In fact, January of 2020, some Chinese schools have closed. Diba?
So, lalabas na po ito, Ombudsman. When will this come out?
Lalabas na ho yung isang aspeto ng investigation last year. I hope that the investigators will complete the resolution within the month because they promised me within the month. Lalabas, malalaman mo, Pinky, you'll be the first to know, I promise you.
Okay, pero yung sa formally po, para for clarification, has there been an investigation launched regarding formally, sir?
Yes, Pinky, we are.
Meron na po.
But our investigation, yes, mayroon kami, patuloy kami nag-iimbestiga. While the Senate and the House are investigating, we are also investigating. We are conducting our own investigation.
Okay.
I assure you that.
Okay, one more. Pasensya na po. I have 1 minute left. This heated exchange between the President and Senator Richard Gordon also. Sabi po ni Pangulo na Gordon owes nga daw allegedly over 80 million pesos, and that kung di daw ito solo, he will call on the Ombudsman to look into this. My question is the Ombudsman, has the President reached out to you, and follow up, has the Ombudsman looked into this allegation of the President on Senator Gordon?
One, the President did not file any complaint. Two, the President did not make any follow-up. Number three, we're waiting for the COA to give us a report on this alleged 80 million of Senator Gordon. A request for the disclosure of a salary of a public official. The Supreme Court sustained us. The Supreme Court sustained Memorandum Circular number 1.
There are a number of provisions that you had mentioned. You mentioned Republic Act 6713, which is a code of conduct and ethical standard for public officials and employees. Section 8 of that, Ombudsman, I know you know this by heart, basically says statements and disclosures. Public officials and employees have an obligation to accomplish and submit declarations under oath, and the public has the right to know. To which I know you just said that this is not, the Supreme Court had ruled this is not an absolute right. That's how, yun po ang pagkaintindi ko doon sa inyong sinabi ngayon lang. Meron din ho kasing Executive Order number 1, si Pangulo, on Section 5, availability of SAL, and subject to the provisions contained in 3 and 4 of this order, all public officials are reminded of their obligation to file and make available for scrutiny their assets or statement of assets and liabilities. That's the second one. And of course, Article 11 of the Constitution, Section 17, a public officer or employee shall, upon assumption of office and as often thereafter as may be required by law, submit a declaration under oath of his assets, liabilities, and net worth, etc. So basically, how I understand it, Ombudsman, is that the Constitution is basically saying that the public officials must file, must disclose to the public the copies of their SAL-Ns, which in turn brings us back to the issue of transparency. That public office is a public trust. And yet, your memorandum order limits the access of that. So I guess the question is, sir, which holds siguro precedence? What is stated in the Constitution, as in Article 11, Section 17, also which is Republic Act 6713, which is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards, and even the Executive Order of the President. Nagkakaroon ho ba kasi ng, I guess, in simple terms, if one does not want to publicize his statement of assets and liabilities and net worth, that person will have the power not to do so because of your memorandum circular number 1. Because you're saying they need the consent of that particular official. In essence, pwedeng wala pong SAL-N na ma-disclose.
So yan mga kabanat, no, yung video na yan ay yung napanood ng discussion ni Pinky Wave at saka Ombudsman kung saan ay dalawang topic yung diniscuss nila. Una, yung napanood ay patungkol sa issue ng COVID, no, mga equipment, mga PPE. At yun, balak na sila sampa ng kaso or pag-iimbestiga dyan sa ginawa ng PSDB. At hindi lang sa PSDB, malamang pati yan sa Department of Health. At pangalawang topic ay patungkol naman sa SAL-N, no? Na naglabas kasi ng memorandum itong si Ombudsman na tila bawal na ipakita sa publiko itong SAL-N ng mga public officials. So bakit nagkaganyan? Bakit nagkaganyan, no? Hindi ko mag-gets bakit ganyan ang gusto nila. Ikaw nga nasa publiko, dapat malaman ng taong bayan ano ba nangyari sa pera mo. Ipakita mo yung pera mo bago ka manungkulan. Pagka umalis ka, every year dapat mo ipakita kung anong tinaas. Dapat mo i-explain bakit tumaas yung ganyang pera mo. Diba? Pero kung wala, ano mangyari? Malaya na sila. Sa panahon nga ngayon na dinideklara yung SAL-N, napakahirap. No? Nakakalusot pa yung magnanakaw. Ano pa kaya kung yung SAL-N ay bawal na ipakita? Diba? Sana wag naman ganyan mangyari, diba mga kabanat? So yan ang opinion ko mga kabanat.